right, mate. Yeah, let's have a look here. BNB, it's a good call to actually look at this. It's an important coin going forward. As you say, there's holding the SMA 200 weekly right here. And that is important. To me, it does look like this is going to break down. There is always the chance that it can possibly bark back up, but I don't think so. We're sitting here on this major resistance support area, right in here at the 2.4. What is that? Well, that's 212. But anywhere in here is a major level. You start breaking that, and that's dangerous. And to be honest, it looks like it's going to break. This is also a compression kind of into this white 100. Now, there is times when this white 100 will hold, and you can bounce off this level. It might pierce through it and then get back above it. But for example, though, if we look at the invert, if I was watching this chart here, to me it would look like that this is going to break up. If we were watching a chart like that, it would look like this is going to break up. So in this compression here, we're getting very close as we're in that compression here of the white 100 on the 2-week chart. Also, if we look at the monthly here, it's not looking that bullish at all. It's it's still green on the month, which will be green on the quarter, but it's hanging on. It's just about hanging on there. This is a bearish move down, and after a bearish move down, it's normal enough to get some sort of consolidation. It's very unlikely that this pushes up on us a bullish engulfing candle like it did here and like it did here. 3 times, the more times this support is tested, the more chances going to break. You could say that you're kind of breaking down there, and you retested the trend line here, and maybe it'll drop lower now. So I wouldn't be buying BNB here. There's probably too much risk in that. This is also a bearish quarterly, bearish quarterly candle with a bearish stop hunt. So that is not ideal. That's definitely not a good sign for BNB. This looks like a giant bear flag that wants to flush lower. Of course, in very strong coins, this can reverse, like say something like that, and then you get that continuation, right? So I'll not be buying it here, but if it starts to show a failure point, there is a possibility it could do something like this and surprise everybody. For me, it would need to prove itself first, because this is a bearish stop onto a bearish 3-month candle. If it forms a doji here, there is an element to think, well, why is this not dropping? Why did it not drop? Is the bears not strong enough? So on a new quarter, which is a long time away at this point, it's over 2 months away. But if there's a doji formed here, and it flips green on a new quarter, well, there's an element to say that there's a long opportunity in that to see if it can actually run to the upside. But I wouldn't be buying it here. I would want the bulls to kind of prove that they're not allowing the bears to take over and drop this. There needs to be some sort of fight there from the bulls. For now, I think it's sit back and watch. Personally, it does look like it wants to break lower. So I'm not putting any high hopes on the bullish move just yet. It would need more development from that. So I think we just got to sit tight here and watch. Even a new week. To see if this can actually is it flipping red and dropping here. It must be very close to a move, because this is this consolidation here. So on the 9-week chart here, this is a bearish drop here, and it's a bearish drop after a bear flag, and you're getting this sort of bearish candle here at the end of the pattern, or at least towards the end of the pattern. So at this point, and I'm actually just going to set, I have an alarm there. I've got an alarm set down there, but as long as this is green here, there's nothing to worry about. But if this 9-week flips red, that's danger. That's a potential flush. So it is just living on the edge here. For me, this chart would need to show something from the bulls. Personally, I think if we look at this here, there's a lot of room to drop, and it's actually still not too bad, right? Where's that tool? Down to the 180. This could easily drop down here, and people are thinking, oh, it's all over, it's going to crash, and you could dip into that. and then you could work your way back up, right? That would probably surprise everybody, but that is a reality. It's a possibility. If we come back to a 3-day chart just to get a better look at it on the near term, something like that looks to me possible, right? I think a drop down into this level, that'll be a telling factor. I do think that this pattern should break down in theory. You can see here, this sort of pattern here, choppy pattern broke up. This choppy pattern broke up. We've got to keep an eye on that. But I think eventually we do come down into this level, right? So yeah, I would be aware that that's still a possibility, and there's still no structural damage done to the chart. That coming down in here. Let me just set an alarm there. So yeah, I'm not really interested in BNB until we get down to these levels down here. There is an element to say that maybe it could bark back up here a little bit, but you prefer the downside on this. It looks like it's close to a move, so on a new week we're likely to get a move. I would say that's probably to the downside.